Okay, lovies, I'm back one more time for the night. This is Yaya Truth, and this is the Dream Garden. Okay, I want to make a quick video to be a lot shorter than the past one, the last one, in response to a comment that I saw asking, how do you get to that space where you are able to hear your spirit, your inner spirit, which for me is your inner guidance, which is your soul, which is God. Okay, how do we get to a space where we hear it? Let me set a little bit of a foundation. It's very important to get to a space where you know that you are hearing your true self and you are not hearing the self that is rooted in limitation, lack, scarcity, and fear. Because that will have you busting some moves that you shouldn't make. Getting in relationships with people that you shouldn't be with. Taking on things that you shouldn't take on. So it's very important, and that question is so appropriate. Like I said, I don't know all the answers. All I can do is share my experience, and please feel free to share yours in this video as it might help someone, including myself. Okay, so I want to state that the first step for me was recognizing that everything I needed was already within me. That was big. And that was big because I grew up Christian, Baptist, you know, and a lot of the teachings really didn't empower me. And I know it definitely, I'm not saying all of Christianity. I know it depends on the church you attend and things of that nature, who's delivering the message. And I'm not upset because ultimately it is our responsibilities to find our spirituality and to find our pathway to God, to our highest selves. Okay? But for a long time, I felt like I was lost. Like, I remember saying, I felt like I didn't have my intuition no more. And I started feeling like less than a woman. Like, how don't I have my intuition? You know? And that was because I was seeking outside of myself, y'all. Everything you need is already within you. But the journey to exploring and discovering it is different for all of us. What works for me may not work for you. So I encourage you to look at the previous video about change and the 7 steps I listed to self-mastery, and to begin to be aware and to explore and discover yourself and have understanding in yourself. And the way your spirituality will show up may be different from someone else, and that is totally okay. This life is not meant to be cookie cutter. You know, the different religions and spiritualities, spiritual practices are nothing but a testament to God's infiniteness. Okay? Diversity is a testament to the infiniteness of God. We think God has just made us all to be the same, think the same, believe the same. Please. Mm-mm. Don't play my God small, please. So I encourage you to explore yourself and to find things that resonate with you. But I will be sharing the things that happen to resonate with me. Okay? Let me move on. I'm already talking that much. I began to explore and I gravitated towards different spiritual practices that were not traditional in my home and in my community. I was really attracted to Buddhism. I was really attracted to meditation. Um, I really resonated with the idea that I am my ancestors. I am because we are. That I exist, that their blood runs through my veins, that I am them here, reincarnated physically. All of those things sent me on this quest inwardly to understand a little bit more because I didn't really have outside help. right? I didn't really have anyone um, in my life that I could really talk to about these things. Um, so, like I said, recognizing that everything that I need was already inside of me was a very big step, and it took a while, you know, because, like I said, traditional religions really teach you to seek outside of yourself to find salvation, to find peace, to find love, okay? Um, I think another piece that was really helpful in me really coming to a space where I was able to hear my spirit was reprogramming and working to reprogram, as I still am, my subconscious mind. Um, there are a few ways to reprogram your subconscious mind, but the two that I'll touch on today, I think have been most impactful for me. The first one is repetition. So let's just get an understanding that the subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference between what is imagined and what's real. Okay? So for me, meditation was paramount. Now, I couldn't sit. You see, I can't even sit still right now. Okay? And my mind was always running. You know, I was a person who always overthought everything, trying to be perfect and to predict outcomes. I would overthink and overanalyze every single thing. Excuse me. On top of that, I was so busy and so overworked that I was always trying to get to the next level, that I was always thinking about the next thing. I was never fully present. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I still struggle with meditation, but I'm better. I am so much better. You know, like I said in my previous videos, I highly recommend that you develop a meditation practice, and there are so many kinds. For me, walking meditations really helped me because I didn't have to be still, but I was able to still meditate and focus and be fully present to all the things that I was seeing. And it was like life was new to me. Like, this was a street I walked down nearly every day. But because I was focusing and being present, I saw things that I never saw. Okay? So there are many types of meditation practices, and you can search on YouTube and Google or whatever you want to do if you have ones that already resonate with you. That helps to quiet the mind. Okay? Meditation is so important because it stops that momentum and allows your spirit to speak. Our minds are so busy, and a lot of the time, if you peep your thoughts, they're not the nicest, you know. Um, and so meditation really helped me. Mantras and affirmations really helped me. I was constantly, and still do, you know, writing on Post-it notes, you know, different things that I wanted to see within myself, I wanted to embody, I wanted to invoke. It got to a point where the Post-it notes were not enough, and I got dry erase markers and began writing on my mirrors, like affirmations about myself, about my child, about everything, you know, things that, and I would just wipe it off if I feel like, oh, I need something new up there. And I have like really tall, you know, mirrors on my closet, you know, ceiling the floor. And I mean, if you come in if I give you a tour right now, you're going to see it's just marked up. You know what I'm saying? I had to see it in my brain and read it, you know what I'm saying? And really repeat it as I'm trying to change these old thought patterns to create new pathways in my brain, you know, outside of the ones that have been dug into my entire life, right? This pattern, right? We're trying to break away and change. Another way that another way that I was able to work on reprogramming my subconscious mind and really to gain momentum in this change that I was going through because what would happen is I would meditate and I would feel so great and I would receive downloads. I'll receive, I would just have this feeling of what I needed to do. I would receive the answers that I was looking for. And then I would go out into the world and all that would go out the window. And I was like, well, hell, I should be able to live life and hold on to this. So I was a little disappointed in myself. Again, please be kind to yourself, right? So I went to a phase of isolation, not even in a negative way. Let me share a little bit about what I mean. When you're trying to change yourself and the people around you, and I'm talking about I'm not saying just the community. I'm talking about your people close to you, or just in your environment, are not really on the same path as you yet, right? Because as collective consciousness, as we raise those vibrations, it is so very infectious, right? But then maybe they're not on the same path as you just yet. It's easy to fall back, into an old thought pattern or behavior. So, I really had to isolate myself, and I felt guilty at first because, like I said, I was so judgy. I was so judgy, saying, "Girl, you grown. You supposed to be able to go anywhere and be who you are. That's really who you are." I was tough on myself, but then I started thinking about something. I started thinking okay, I'm trying to change these patterns, right? And I started thinking about maybe somebody who was an alcoholic or a drug addict, and they went to I don't know, Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or something like that. So if I was an alcoholic and I'm recovering and my friends are trying to go out, I may not be able to go to the bar with you and just drink water yet. Okay? I may have to refrain from going out with y'all for a while until I get strong enough in myself to be able to go out with you and resist temptation to backpedal into old patterns. Okay? So I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So it doesn't mean that I'm never going to see, my people again, my folks again, and spend time with them again. It means that, I just got to build this muscle a little bit. I just have to work this muscle out a little bit, okay? It's like a detox, a drug program, Seriously. They isolate you. I'm talking about you don't have no phones in there. At least from what I've seen on TV, on intervention. Not even make a joke of it. I'm serious because I had an intervention for myself. You don't have phones, rare contact with the outside. You're eating right. You're exercising, all of these things to cause a transformation. And it's usually not for a long time, y'all. Rehab programs be a few months. Okay? So take the necessary time to yourself. I like to call it no outside interference. Okay? Psh, 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 psh. I ain't fooling with you right now. I love you, but I'm trying to shape something and build something right now. And I'm going to come out stronger. Don't feel guilty because we be feeling guilty thinking that we're abandoning our folks, that we abandoning our people. Nah, baby. The blind can't lead the blind. You ain't no help to nobody if you ain't a help to yourself. Take that time to get right. And when you emerge, they going to be like, who is that? And they going to want to do they going to want what you got. What you on? It's meditation, honey. I done learned how to sit for 10 minutes. Okay? Yes. So, and then another piece to this isolation, I have to find another word because it really it has a negative connotation. But another piece to it is being picky about what you allow into your space, your mental space. I got off social media. I took the apps off my phone so I couldn't just mindlessly get on Instagram and Facebook and just stroll, seeing all the negativity. People, you will see where people's minds are focused. A lot of people are focused negatively. You always posting about somebody getting shot and killed. Always posting about some negative. And it's not that we want to ignore what's happening in the world, but as I mentioned before, like attracts like. The law of attraction is real and powerful. What are you focusing on? So I will be flying high, feeling good for meditation, and then I sneak on Instagram one time, and I'm talking about with one scroll, my energy was like, burn. And I'm like, oh, I had to get off for a while, and I still don't stroll. Like, I post and I get off, like, because it's just too much nonsense being posted. Like, you have to be picky about what you want in your mind. All of that is programming. You know, all of this is programming. What we see on TV, the TV shows we watched, I stopped watching ratchet television a very long time ago. Like, no Love and Hip Hop for me, like, none of that, because I was like, what am I feeding my mind, my spirit? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be picky, please, about what you're allowing into your mental space. The fourth one is trust and act. When you get an impulse, so once you've kind of worked on quieting the mind through some type of, first of all, once you've accepted that you have all the answers already inside of you, that your higher self, not the you that's been in pain, not the you that's been disappointed, not the you that's been hurt, cheated on, not the you that's hurt other people, not that you, your true self. Once you understand that there is something within you that is so much more grander than this physical space, and you accept that, and you get a meditation practice going to where you can start reprogramming that subconscious mind to emerge and give death to the old self and rebirth the new self, which is really the old self, the oldest self, the truest self, the original, not the knockoff. Okay? Then you can start trusting your impulses. And I remember I would get an impulse after meditation and think, I didn't know what it was, and I wouldn't trust it. And I'm like, well, maybe I was supposed to do that. And then when I started trusting it, let me give you a quick example. Oh, I'm running the time. Quick example. After meditating one morning, I had an impulse to take my son with me to Starbucks to get a tea and a bagel. I usually drop him off at daycare first, right? But I don't know. I just had this impulse. I'm like, why would I do that? I never do that. It wasn't profound. You know, my inner self, the God in me, didn't come down and give me this, grand, profound, thing. It was like, go to Starbucks with your kid. Long story short, the night before I had been really working on my throat chakra and communication and working to build myself up to start a channel and to speak on the things that are important to me. And I had been really meditating on that. So I said, okay, I'm going to just listen. I'm going to take him. Why not? I'm going to go to Starbucks. So we go to Starbucks, and the local news is there, and they stopped me because I'm with my son, and they were doing this, story on children and smartphones and tablets, which is, first of all, something I have so much to say on, okay? Because in my house, I'm all about, we're going to play. I don't care how tired I am. We're going to run around in the dirt. We're going to pick up roly-polies. You know what I'm saying? We're going to jump off rocks. We're not sitting our children in front of TVs over here, okay? Or in front of tablets to keep you quiet. I'd rather put in the extra legwork. So I was like, oh, I definitely have something to say about this. And he said, we've been looking for somebody to come here with a kid so we could interview, and you're the only one that came. And we were just about to leave. And it's so funny how you don't really put two and two together if you're not in tune. And it wasn't until I drove off, I just started cracking up like, oh, I see you. I see you. Okay, I see you, God. The universe is always putting things in my path because I followed the impulse, and it was just a news show. I get it. It wasn't like I'm famous or anything, but you get the point. It was like, you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know who you're going to meet, what's going to happen. So follow, trust, and follow. And the more you trust and follow those impulses, the more confidence you build in yourself. in your spirit. And the louder your spirit becomes, because you're no longer ignoring it, right? But you have to get to a space where you rip away all of those things that are not you, all of those thoughts that are not representing who you truly are. Okay? I hope that this has been helpful. I totally didn't mean to make a 20-minute video. I need to go to bed. I'm probably going to do some reading. I love you guys so, so much. Like I said, I ain't no expert, okay? I ain't no expert, but this is real for me. Like, this is for real, you know? This is what I'm doing, and I'm so grateful to be able to share with you guys. And like I said, please feel free to comment and tell me like some tips that you use, and you know, let's really make this community what it's about. You know what I'm saying? The Dream Garden, like a place where we cultivate and tend to our dreams. Okay? I love you guys so, 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 so much. Okay? Have a beautiful day or evening, depending on where you are and what time you're watching this video. Okay? Peace and love.